I thought it would be a fun night. My wife, Sarah, and I had been married for 6 years, and I wanted to surprise her with a glamorous evening out. She had been working tirelessly at her job, and I figured a party with friends, laughter, and champagne would lift her spirits. I spent hours picking the perfect outfit, and I even had her favorite wine chilled for later. Little did I know, that night would change everything. We arrived at the party, a bustling affair with sparkling lights, loud music, and people laughing in clusters. I tried to get Sarah to mingle, but she seemed distracted, constantly checking her phone. I brushed it off as work-related stress. After all, she had been under pressure for weeks. As the night went on, I noticed her drifting away from me, laughing at jokes I couldn't hear and whispering with a man I didn't recognize. At first, I tried to ignore it, telling myself I was overreacting. But there was something in the way she smiled at him. It wasn't a friendly smile. It was intimate, the kind of smile I thought was reserved for me. I confronted her subtly. "Are you okay? You seem a bit distant." "Oh, I'm fine," she said with a shrug, slipping her hand into his. That was the moment the air around me turned heavy. My chest tightened. My mind raced. How could she do this right in front of me? I felt my legs weaken, but I forced myself to stay composed. Minutes later, I excused myself to grab a drink and tried to gather my thoughts. When I returned, they were gone. My stomach sank. I asked around, and someone casually mentioned that Sarah had left with him. My mind refused to process it. She left with another man? Tonight, with me sitting here? I drove home, my head spinning with anger, disbelief, and heartbreak. The house was quiet, and the emptiness was deafening. I sat on the couch, staring at the wine glasses I had poured, untouched. Every laugh, every whispered conversation I had seen replayed in my mind like a cruel loop. The next morning, I couldn't bring myself to speak to her. When she returned, her face was pale, and her eyes avoided mine. I wanted answers, but all I could do was watch her unpack her things from the night before. I didn't mean for it to happen, she mumbled, barely audible. I looked at her, my voice steady but cold. Didn't mean for it to happen? Sarah, you went home with another man, with me at that party. How is that something that just happens? She tried to explain, stammering, saying she felt lonely, that she had wanted attention, but the excuses felt hollow, meaningless. Every word she said felt like salt on a wound that was still raw. I realized something in that moment. No apology could undo the betrayal. No explanation could erase the image of her laughing and holding someone else's hand. I had loved her, trusted her, invested years of my life into our marriage, and she had shattered it in a single night. Instead of screaming, I made a choice. I packed a bag, left a note, and walked out. I didn't want to see her reaction. I didn't want to witness any more lies. That night had taken everything from me, but I refused to let it define the rest of my life. It's been months since that night. I've moved on, focused on my own happiness, and surrounded myself with people who value honesty. I still remember the party, the lights, the laughter, and that moment when I realized the person I loved the most had chosen someone else over me. But I don't regret walking away. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is also the most liberating. And as for her, I don't dwell on it anymore. I learned a harsh truth that night. Love should never be forced, trust should never be taken for granted, and some people reveal their true colors when the music is loud and no one is watching.